Hey everybody, welcome back to Corrections, our digital-only effort to make sure we correct everything that we got wrong this week, because our goal each and every week at Late Night is to be perfect. I said the word codified, it's codified. Thank you to our viewers for pointing that out. I said the Prime Minister of Ireland. I was told it's called the Taoiseach. I'm still going to say Prime Minister. Also, based on the way Taoiseach is spelled, I would have thought it was Taoiseach. I think you know. I think our Irish viewers know I wasn't going to say Taoiseach. I think you were just having a crack. They'll know what that means. Oh, this is interesting. In a closer look, we had a joke about a 1986 Camaro. So then we go to a photo service and we ask them to get us a 1986 Camaro. And then during rehearsal, someone in the crew said, "That's not a Camaro. That's a Pontiac Trans Am." And so we called the photo service back, and they said, "No, that's definitely Camaro." So then we put it in the show, and a bunch of you said that is a Pontiac Trans Am. So long story short, we have stopped using Giuliani photo service. Last night, we had a joke about Nick Cage, where I said, as Nick Cage, that my parents were velociraptors who put me up for adoption. And then we showed the adoption papers, and it said child's name prior to adoption. It said Nick Cage. And someone said, "Hey, man, you know better. You know Nick Cage isn't his real name because he's Nicholas Coppola." But I would like to point out that in this world we built, his dinosaur name is Nick Cage. Then he was adopted by the Coppolas. And then when he went into show business, he went back to his dinosaur name. That transitions well into dragons. This is another correction that I got based on a correction. I corrected my pronunciation of the J.R.R. Tolkien dragon, and I know it's Tolkien. Just want to see how fast you ran to your keyboards. I said it was a Smaug, and then I was told it was Smaug, and I said, "I'm sorry, I got the name of the dragon from Lord of the Rings wrong," and then people said he's from The Hobbit. But now I think I'm ready to do a Q&A at a Lord of the Rings convention. And it's a bummer for me, because The Hobbit is my favorite of all those books, because it's the shortest. I don't want to judge those, but again, I like nerdy stuff. This is not me being like, oh, I just think I read it. They just went over my head. I just think I read it when I was too young. I was like 30. Plus, I like The Hobbit because, I mean, with all due respect to like Frodo and Samwise, my favorite Hobbit has always been Dildo. This isn't a correction. This is something I got right, which is that Benjamin Franklin's wife's name was Deborah. But then I comment on the fact that Deborah to me seems just like a modern name. I was very surprised that Benjamin Franklin's wife was Deborah, and then a bunch of people pointed out to me that Deborah is actually in the Old Testament. It's just shocking to me. Now, again, I'm not a Bible reader. You know, I'd read it if the other option was like Return of the King. But like Deborah, I can't believe Deborah's an Old Testament name. It'd be like if you told me Noah's wife was like Patty. Abraham, they want Abraham to kill his son. Can you believe he has to tell Candace? Also, Amber's still wrong about crikey being a thing that people in New Zealand say, and she was standing by it, right?
I'm not wrong. I'm 100% right. Anyone who says I'm wrong is also wrong. Also, Seth really told me not to tell that joke, and then I told it anyway.
Also, last week, I yelled at Amber, "I can't hear you through your mask." And a few people said, it's a face shield.
Oh, yuck.
I know.
Seth, all of this is bad. Don't do this.
And that's
Don't
what I
talk
mean.
to these people.
And I'm just saying, guys, like, I know everything you nitpick, I then make time for and draw attention to it in a way almost rewarding you. But you gotta stop. Because I can't. Well, I think that's another A+ for us. Now, corrections is over, but we're gonna run this YouTube video another hour. Isn't this a little bit more exciting than Lord of the Rings? Get out of here!